G'day, it's Simon and James, another South OC Cars and Coffee. You know, the weather today, it's perfect. It's a little overcast, but there's a ton of cars and some ton of cool stuff. James, what are you seeing?
We've got some good stuff this morning. A Mark II 4 GT just rolled in. We have the 911 ST again from last week, which is just absolutely stunning. 3RS Heritage Edition. What else do we have? We have a crazy rainbow Huracan Super Trofeo from the guys over at from Straight Up Driven. I mean, it's an insane morning today.
Yeah, and that's actually a car that's going to be unveiled at SEMA next week. So we've actually got the real unveiling before at SEMA,
yeah,
which is kind of cool. And don't forget, if you come to South OC Cars and Coffee, please remember to respect our rules. No speeding, no revving, no burnouts. That includes getting on those streets of San Clemente and freeways. Mate, tons to see. Let's go for a walk and check some stuff out.
Let's do it. Starting off the exotics row with this absolutely ridiculous twin-turbo Lamborghini Huracan with a full Super Trofeo body kit. This is actually the first time that you're going to see this specific version of the car. It's sponsored by TinyBot. It's from the guys over at Straight Up Driven, and Tony has done an insane job with this car. You can see it has just probably the craziest body kit on there. It's like a Super Trofeo kit. It is so wide, and it has a Gentani, I believe it's a Gentani twin-turbo kit, making around 1,000 to 1,100 horsepower. This car is nuts. You can see it has this brand new color shifting vinyl on there. It is so cool. Absolutely love this car. What a great build. Here we have two cars that are very similar but also very different in their own ways. Both shark blue, which I absolutely love, the GT4 next to the GT3. Both of these cars are also 6-speed manual, which is very cool. But the accents are a little different. I love the Apex race wheels on this, and then if we look on the interior inside the carbon buckets, you can see those houndstooth inserts, which I absolutely love compared to the plaid in this. Both of them are very cool. You can see this little personalized seatbelt holder, which is pretty neat. 6-speed manuals in both. What a cool lineup of cars. Between these two, which one would you guys take? Make sure to let us know in the comments below. Here we have a couple more P cars. This is actually a wrap on the Start 1 GT3, which I thought was really impressive. This beautiful ice blue. I think this is the snow blue from a Nosatec, but they've done such a good job with this car. You can hardly tell there's vinyl on it. Between the 991.1 and the 991.2, which one would you guys take? Here we have a crazy KEYVANY Ferrari F8. So from my understanding, KEYVANY was founded by a few guys that had left Mansory, and honestly that makes sense because their design is very bold, very out there. You can see all of the add-ons on this car. You can see these crazy fins on the front, these little canard type things. Just a crazy setup they've done with this. Very neat. Definitely very personalized, very unique as well. Love it. As if the normal GT3 RS wasn't cool enough, this is the Heritage Edition. Very cool. You can tell because it has the green wheels on there, the green mirror caps, and then the green little RS livery on the side with the American flag in the back. Very cool. This one has the YSAC package as well. You can see that carbon roof as well as the carbon hood as well. Such a cool car. Does need to get rid of this plastic though. I think 9 Design can help him out. Love it. Next to the ST, we have this absolutely insane, what used to be a Gallardo and now is something very different. Love this car. This belongs to the guys over at Street Aero. You can see this car is basically just a shell of a Gallardo at this point. Basically nothing's the same aside from the doors, which even then have a cutout on the side. An insane 2JZ with probably the biggest turbo that I've ever seen in my life. 6-speed gated manual. Just absolutely everything is one-off on this car. They've done such an awesome job. And then next to it, the Mark II 4 GT. Absolutely love it. This is probably the first time that we've had this specific one here. I don't think I've ever seen the black one before. Such a beautiful car. Twin turbo V6 in this. Wish it had the V8. Nonetheless, it's a very cool car. Awesome. So as we were coming around on the side, it actually has a generative AI model built into the car. Ona was just showing me, you can ask it questions and it knows what it says. How much horsepower does it have in it? It spits out an answer. I think this is the first time that I've ever seen this on the side of a car. So cool. I think we need to incorporate this into more builds because that is just ridiculous.
Great to have Mazda as one of our sponsors. This morning, for the first time, they've got their new CX-50 hybrid here at the show. You know, one of the great things about Mazda is they really try and retain a certain drive element. As a previous Mazda owner, I can absolutely speak to that. I had one of the Mazda 6s many years ago when they first came out, and it was such a great car to drive. So one of the things they say about this is that it is a hybrid that drives like a Mazda, because it is a Mazda. So while a lot of other companies are going to cars which are a lot more, I guess, sterile, for want of a better word, or like an iPhone with wheels, Mazda is very determined to retain that driver experience. So here we are, the brand new CX-50 hybrid. I think it says gets combined 38 miles per gallon, which is pretty special. And then next to it, the CX-70. Now, I was driving this around a little bit last week. Such a great car to drive. Look at the beautiful interior in this thing. They just have their whole design cues together, both inside and outside. The thing I love about them is they don't look like any of the other cars that are out there at the moment. So great to have Mazda on board. Also, obviously, the guys from Next Level Auto Protection as well. If you need PPF, paint correction, any of these services over here, window tint, custom vinyl, wrap insulation, the guys at Next Level can help you. That's the only people I trust to do all of my cars. Then iAccident lawyers as well, so if you need an accident attorney, make sure to come and see these guys. Our latest sponsor, great to have along, is MR Weston Associates Coldwell Banker Realty. Make sure and come and see these guys. They got some coffee there for you and giveaways at the moment as well. So always great to have the sponsors here. They help put the show on. If it wasn't for these guys, we couldn't bring the show to you each week. So please make sure, go to our website and check them all out. The beginnings of 911. Look at this car. This is so beautiful, very original, one of the very earliest of 911s. There's so many things about this car which are just so darn perfect. Look where the mirror is right here next to it, obviously the fuel filler as well. Such simplistic steel wheels with a simple hubcap. One of the things I loved about these earlier 911s were these vents through here, but this particular car is wonderful. Look at those wonderful seats with the steel rail holding the headrests. Beautiful wood grain dash in there, and then as we come around to the back, just the simplicity of Porsche and 911 on the side. You know, it's amazing when you look at the 911, it really visually has evolved probably less than just about any other car that's had this longevity of its existence, and yet it's timeless, it's still beautiful. You can look at this, you know, going back to the late 60s when they were first released, right up to the very, very latest 911s, and they still look absolutely amazing, and you can still see that they're related to each other. Just a timeless design.
Thank God that the brothers on the rise now. Endless celebrations all in my house. Levitating now, I'm super duper fly now. London boy, but DC where I reside now. Put the time in while you always yelling time out. And for quit it, cause I know I'm coming with it. You were sitting, you were wishing I was handling my business. Now I got the ball like Harry Potter playing Quidditch. And my business is humongous, you would think that happens in it. Damn man, I'm all that, yeah, I'm all that. Working for that.
Now, this little Mazda has been a previous Car of the Week winner a long, long time ago. Remember, we've been doing this show for over 7 years. This was an early one. And it's a great little car. It is so track-inspired, but it's more than track-inspired. It is a proper track car. Obviously, you can tell by the wheels and everything else. Under the hood, it is a 3-rotor Wankel engine. Say that very carefully, Wankel engine. This engine came out of a Unos, which of course was Mazda's luxury brand, a bit like Lexus is for Toyota, or Infiniti is for Nissan, or Acura is for Honda. So this motor was one of the rotaries, the larger rotors, the 3-rotor. Stick a decent sized turbo on it, and this thing's going to make massive power. And you can see this is really, really well set up, just catch can, all that sort of stuff. But have a look at the roll cage in it. It is serious motoring, the shifter that's down in there, the digital dash, the harnesses. This is a extremely, extremely cool little car. Worth going back and finding that Car of the Week video on it, because it's super cool. So I'm making way through the parking lot, going past all the cars. Notice this older Mercedes sitting here. Immediately in amongst the dust, and I actually like the fact that it looks like a barn find under there. There is a late model supercharged AMG motor shoehorned into this car. And what's interesting is it looks like it belongs there. That's the crazy thing about this installation. It's just so well done that this car, like decent wheels on it, it's got these flares on it as well, so it's like a wide body on there too. But this is super, super cool because pretty obviously the motor is not the motor that came in it, and it's just a great job because it looks like it could have. I mean, even the exhaust pipes and the badging and everything. What a super cool car. It's amazing. Cadillac CTS-V Blackwing, what a great car. I kind of feel sometimes that some of these cars are the last hurrah of the high performance sedans or whatever it happens to be. Obviously supercharged engine. I think this is an LT5. Correct me if I'm wrong, put a comment below, but somebody's also done a bit of extra work to this. If you look, the pulley's been changed to a grip tech, which means it's actually got almost like teeth on the pulley or dimples on the pulley so that you don't get any slippage. So it's obviously a smaller pulley, which increases your boost. It's also got a different throttle body on there as well. As you can see, that's been polished. That could be something like a Nick Williams by the look of it. But so obviously up on horsepower, they wouldn't do that if they weren't doing a tune, etc. And it's also a 10-rib pulley as well. If you notice, it's actually running that wider pulley than from factory. But these are such a great car. Even if you took the factory one, I mean, it's a ton of horsepower and this beautiful luxurious interior as well, like a ton of carbon fibre, beautiful sports buckets in there, and a wonderful colour as well. It looks a little bit like the Porsche Shark Blue, but so great to have a sedan that's got this much horsepower. It's, you know, like a muscle car but a sedan. And as I said, I fear that this might be one of the last hurrahs. Hopefully Cadillac won't push everything towards smaller capacity turbo 6-cylinders or 4-cylinders as we're seeing with some brands like AMG, because there's nothing beats the sound of a V8, and there's nothing actually beats the sound of a supercharged V8. Love this car. This Chevelle's kind of tough, isn't it? It's got a great stance to it, just dumped in the absolute weeds. Like, I can't even see the top of the wheels there. Same with the back end. It's a beautiful looking car. It's got a modern interior in there, beautiful seats, but the original dash and everything, great colour, like a butternut colour yellow. But it's just such a great looking, tough looking old car. 64, still got those real early looks to it, but the stance on this thing is just absolutely perfect. Then under the hood, running a small block Chev underneath there, but just nice and clean, you know, everything's sort of blacked out. It's got AC. It's a very cool looking little car.
I think the girls with their nails done now. Girls with their
Now normally we ask people to drive their cars in forward, but this is a good reason why not to do that if you drive one of these. Look at the engine in the back of this. So this was Chevy's answer to companies like Porsche coming along and trying to take away the sports car market. So we had the Corvette to compete with the likes of Ferrari. If you're GM, what do you build to compete against the likes of Porsche? Air-cooled, rear engine. This was the answer. The problem was GM didn't have the, let's call it the engineering chops to be able to put the engine in the back and do the sort of stuff that Porsche was able to do. So they became very unpopular. They also invoked some pretty hefty safety laws that came to play because of the Corvair. But these days, cult following, kind of cool, and not something you see every day. So great to see that here at the show. How cool is this? Split window Volkswagen Beetle. This is like holy grail stuff over here. Pretty cool, but there's so many resto-modded sort of things. So it still has the original little arms that fold out from the side, original looking instrumentation, but there's some giveaways that things aren't all as they seem. Look at the pedal box down there. obviously that's a little bit more state of the art. The size of the wheels on here, which are super, super cool. And then in the back, this is your car, sir. Turbocharged. What was your name?
Frank.
Hey, Frank. Simon.
Nice
So,
to meet you, Simon.
so tell us about the car. So it's turbocharged,
Turbocharged. It's fuel injected.
right?
Puts out just under 300 horsepower.
Wow.
Yeah.
And is it the original air-cooled motor that was in? Obviously, it's a larger capacity than it would have been.
Right. The
a
original.
later model.
Correct. The original probably was only putting out 25 horsepower.
Yeah.
This has been turbocharged. It's got the 911 fan shroud.
Yep.
Suspension all the way around is 911, so it's coilover, disc
Wow.
brakes. Porsche 5-speed. Full leather interior by Ron Mangus.
Yep.
And the body has been widened 1.5 inches, fenders.
Oh, so it has.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but you
So
can't
this
tell.
is no. So it's been.
And the bumpers have been widened.
Yep.
And the windows, if you notice, they're flush mounted.
Yeah, they are. They
There's
have got the chrome trim.
Well, there's usually a big rubber seal that kind of goes
Yeah.
all the way around like this. It's
That's
been
right.
flush mounted.
Yep.
Original rag top.
Yep. Wow.
Have you ever seen these?
Yes.
Semaphores?
Semaphores. I was trying to think of the name of them before, and I
Yeah.
was talking about it. Super cool.
Crotch cooler.
Yep.
And these are billet wheels specifically for the car. So they designed it specifically for the car.
Willwood
So you're not
brakes
gonna-
in there. Yep.
You're not going to see these wheels on any other Volkswagen. It was designed off a 1959.
Yep.
Um,
Even the spare in there,
Porsche.
which I think is pretty cool as well.
Yeah.
So did you do? You did this. You know a lot about it. So you obviously were heavily involved in the whole process of.
Well, the car, I'm not going to lie to you, the car was built by a custom hot rodder.
Right.
Unfortunately, his name was George Sepulveda. Unfortunately, he passed. Then the car came up for sale. I bought the car this way. But I've always been a Volkswagen guy.
Yeah, right.
So I know everything about the car.
I love that you know so much about it. I can see an aeromotive fuel pump under there, an aeromotive.
Stainless steel lines.
Yep.
Yep.
Fuel pressure regulator
And
under
then
there.
these pieces, if you notice, this is the details.
Yep.
This is one piece
Ah, okay.
of solid brass.
Yeah, right.
Normally, Volkswagens have two pieces, where this would be a piece by itself,
Yeah.
and then this other piece. This is all one piece. This took almost 2 weeks to build,
Oh, this is so cool.
and these are all solid as well.
Yeah, I love the things like the details in there, like the stainless steel. Beautiful seats. Hey, it's a great little car.
Thank you. That's
Big
the custom
stereo
service.
system in there. Yeah.
And this is the head unit.
Look,
Your phone.
the phone is the head unit.
Yeah,
Oh,
play
that's
your
cool.
playlist.
Hey, great car. Thanks for bringing it out.
Appreciate
Very
you.
cool.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Alrighty. Have a great day.
I have no idea what I'm looking at here, but what I can tell you is under the hood, it looks like a Mustang engine. Very interesting. So this is something that's been coach built, obviously. Looks like it's been done by a UK company. Very plush looking interior. And let's have a look. It's a Mangusta by Corvair. How do we pronounce that? Really interesting. So obviously, as I said, coach built. Feels like something that you would have seen from companies like TVR or the like. They'd probably used a gauge cluster from somebody else. You know, it could be literally something like a Ford gauge cluster. Then under the hood, there's a 32 valve motor under there, which is an SVT engine. So this is obviously a Ford engine, but built to be used in this particular car. So it says British Motor Cars over there. So I'm guessing, as I said, it's British build, but interesting, isn't it? It reminds me a little bit of Alfa Romeo from the side, but just something we don't see every day. Every week this row of Mopars gets better and better and better. We've looked at these before. Look at this under here. 535 with a high-rise manifold. Some classic cars through here. The Barracuda here. Belvedere over there. Look what we got here. It is the General Lee, and this thing is super clean. The paintwork on it is absolutely beautiful. I would love to see this thing jump, as we saw on the Dukes of Hazzard, but I bet it doesn't. And one of the other telltale signs that this is not the real General Lee is I bet the doors actually open, which of course they didn't on the original one. They used to climb in and out through the windows. He's even got the cowboy hat in the back. Great looking car. Everything about this group is great. Back through to this one we saw a couple of weeks ago, this old Valiant over here as well. Just great to see so many of these amazing cars being brought out. And that General Lee, it's the first time I have seen that one here, I think, for a little while. So very cool. Okay, so there's something interesting about this old cab over Ford 600 truck. It's got a Cummins logo on the side, so obviously Cummins diesel in it, and all very original. But have a look at the back. This looks like the tray off of something like an F650 or something. I think it's just the bed. I can't see it. Like, I love the fact that it's got the old bumper in there with that newer tray. But if you look underneath, have a look at the suspension under there. It's got the main springs and then the helper springs. So that was when you loaded it up too much, it'd actually come up, hit the helper springs, and they would actually then ride up against those bump stops that are there. Normally there'd be a rubber block typically there, so they didn't ride up too high. But so this thing looks like it's still sitting on its original chassis under there. Same with the front end, dumping a bit of oil under there. So that's a bit of a telltale sign that it's actually all sort of fairly old. But then little things like some more modern cables and stuff, and more modern hydraulic hoses. So somebody put a bit of work into this thing. Obviously enjoy driving it around. Well, this is pretty. Have a look at this VW bus. Just a classic, beautiful colour, all original looking, got the roof that rolls back, all of those windows, of course, which is what makes it the one that's worth some money, and the barn doors around the other side I can see open as well. Got a Meekum badge on it, so somebody might have just recently bought it at auction. But then on the inside, it is not all original. See a modern LCD screen in there. Don't think that actually came in back in the 60s or 70s when this thing was built. But they look great. Sort of two separate roof racks up there. Just a super looking thing. This is probably worth a ton of money.
That is it for a very busy weekend here at South OC Cars and Coffee. Thank you guys so much for coming out and checking out the show. Please remember, if you are attending, respect our rules: no revving, no speeding, no burnouts. That includes on the property, getting on and off the freeways, and then through the streets of San Clemente as well. I want to say a massive thank you to all the sponsors. We have the Brackets here, Way Marketing, Mazda, Maguire's, Accident Attorneys, Next Level Auto Protection, Sierra, Ineos Grenadier, Carbontastic, Happy Jewelers, Beckwith Financial, Josh the Auto Buyer, and then welcoming as well Coldwell Banker Realty. Thank you guys all so much for continuing to support the event. I want to say a massive thank you as well to all the volunteers for coming out each and every week and helping us put on this event. We could not do it without you guys. Remember, if you want to become a volunteer, hit us up on Instagram at South OC Cars and Coffee merch. So we have all the volunteer rostering, and then while you're over there, check out some of our hoodies, t-shirts, hats, stickers, everything you guys could possibly want from South OC Cars and Coffee. If you are volunteering, you can get to bring your car in before 8:30, and then Ruby Zana provides a free coffee and donut for everyone helping us out. Yeah, big thank you to Ruby's for doing that, and also feeding the masses. A big thank you to the outlets of San Clemente for allowing us to be here as well. Remember, if you need to go to shopping, movies, restaurant, coffee, whatever it is, come to the outlets, tell them South OC Cars and Coffee sent you. Well, that is it. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like, follow, and subscribe. We will see you back here next week for another South OC Cars and Coffee. Thank you, guys.